Hi, this is Janie with VegFest Colorado, and I am here today with JL Fields, who is amazing. This woman has a bio that is absolutely incredible. She's the founder and culinary director of the Colorado Springs Vegan Academy, and she is a master vegan lifestyle coach, educator, food life instructor, chef instructor in the culinary program at the University of Taos, personal chef, career coach, corporate consultant, and author. Did I get it all?
I think so.
Well, JL, thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
So I would like to know, how did your vegan journey get started?
Well, everyone kind of has their story, and I think my story was more of a vegetarian story. So in my late 30s, I was working at an organization that worked to end violence against women and girls. I traveled the world. I was definitely like a meat and potato kind of gal. I was a couch potato, just traveling around doing my work. And we were in Nairobi, Kenya, and we were there for the opening of a safe house. And at that opening, a male elder came to the celebration, and he brought his most prized possession, which was a goat. And everyone was, thrilled. This meant that this celebration we were having was being, basically endorsed by this elder. Well, the goat was subsequently slaughtered, stewed, and served for dinner. And the next morning, I called my husband from the airport on my way to South Africa and said, I'm a vegetarian. So it was like, I'd never even thought about being vegetarian before, never thought about being vegan, come from the Midwest. There's a meat locker in our community, in our town. Like, I knew where meat came from, but there was just something about kind of meeting a goat, shaking its hand and eating it. So I was vegetarian for 8 years. And then after that, I had gone through 8 years later, I was going through this sort of cleanse with my yoga instructor. No wheat, no dairy, no alcohol, no sugar, and no animal. Did I say dairy? Wheat,
Dairy,
something else that I love. Yeah. And at the end of the 16 days, I was like, oh, well, I didn't eat any animal products. I guess I'm a vegan. So it was very less dramatic than when I went vegetarian.
Wow. Yeah, that would do it for me too, I think. Yeah. That's quite a story. So VegFest Colorado. So you have been one of our presenters for many, many years, and we love having you. Every time I go and hear you, I learn something new. What are you talking about this year?
Well, first off, I just have to say, I go to a lot of VegFests all over the country and in Canada. And VegFest Colorado, not just because it's my home state, VegFest, it's an incredible vegetarian festival. I just have to say that. I like no matter what's happening, like this year, the Animal Rights Conference is happening on the same weekend. That wasn't even negotiable for me. I'm going to VegFest Colorado because I've watched it grow over the years, the number of vendors, the number of presenters, the number, and most importantly, the number of guests who come. And it's absolutely amazing. It's my favorite VegFest. And it's been so welcoming to me. I mean, I moved to Colorado at the end of 2012, went to VegFest and presented in 2013, and I've been back every year. So anyway, I had to gush. I love VegFest. So
thank you.
Every year I try to do something a little different during my cooking demos, and often my cooking demonstrations are kind of connected to a book that I might have out. And since the last VegFest, my book, Vegan Meal Prep, came out in December. So I'm actually going to do a cooking demonstration that really breaks down and demystifies what meal prepping means. So, VegFest, what's great about VegFest is that, yes, you get vegans who come, but you also get vegetarians. And more importantly, you get people who are neither. They're just curious about what is this all about. And so anybody wants to learn about meal prepping because anybody wants to, how can I get meals on the table quicker? How can I save money? How can I save time? And obviously, I'm going to do it from a completely vegan perspective, but that's what I'll be talking about, like how to get yourself ready for the week so you can eat the way you want to eat, the way you plan to eat, and you'll save some money along the way, and you'll learn a few culinary tricks.
Well, I don't know who wouldn't want to save a little money. I know that's a lot of people think that vegan food is expensive, and it doesn't have to be. So
No, it's not. I mean, I just did a cooking demonstration last night in Denver at one of the public libraries, the Woodbury branch, and I make a point to buy everything that I'm using, like at King Soopers, or sometimes I'll go to Walmart. And the point is, because I want to show people like everything we're cooking tonight that you're going, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Literally got it at King Soopers, or got a couple of the items at Walmart. Because, I mean, yeah, sure, there might be occasionally an ingredient like a nutritional yeast. They don't have that at King Soopers quite yet. But yeah. But having said that, I also don't want to sort of poo-poo this idea. We do have food deserts in our communities, no doubt about it. And for some people, the way the food world works right now, it's cheaper often to go to McDonald's and get that food. And McDonald's does that by design. And so it's true that there can feel like there's a financial shift if you start to cook with more vegetables and beans and grains, and you're not eating fast food. But I do think in the long term, you start to see that kind of equal out a little bit.
absolutely. Well, I'm anxious to hear what you have to share with us. It's going to be fun. So reading your bio, you know, like I said, you have so much stuff on here. I can't believe all the things that you do. Just woman to woman, how do you get it all done?
That is a good question. So, you know, the thing is, I do a lot of things, and some of them are part of my business, and some of them are me as a vegan activist and volunteer in my community. And I have had the opportunity, because I started doing this as a career, you know, when I was 47. I'm 53 now. And so I had 25 years experience under my belt. And so I had the opportunity, you know, because I know not everyone can just kind of like quit a job and decide to be a crazy vegan professional. But I had that opportunity. I have a really supportive partner who kind of gives me the space to do what I need to do. But I find that if I don't silo myself into thinking, well, right now I'm doing volunteer work and now I'm going to be doing paid work. And I'm saying this as an entrepreneur and somebody who has their own small business, and I know not everyone can do that. But for me, that's how it works. And so for me to put on like a vegan market, like I just did in Colorado Springs last Sunday, I prioritize that as important as any of the other work that I do, because I started doing this work as a vegan cookbook author and a coach and a culinary instructor. Is I want more people to be vegan. And so so believe it or not, for all the things that I do, I will still kick up my feet at 7 p.m. and not be working. So it's possible. But I think it's because I'm able to just like kind of just say, you know, it all feeds each other, right? Like if more people come to a market that I produced as a volunteer, and then they learn about my cooking classes and they come and take that, then I benefit from that as a business person. And so I think that like not kind of siloing things and just saying, what am I doing today in this hour right now to further veganism, to help animals, to make the world a better place, just find a way to make it work.
Right. And sometimes it doesn't feel like work when it's a passion. It just doesn't. You know, I mean, we're here. It's after 7 o'clock, so you are working. I'm going to call you out on that one.
That's true.
That's what we do, and it's because I'm volunteering to help with VegFest because I love VegFest, and like you, I want to see more people discover this lifestyle and discover how great it feels and how compassionate it is. So yeah, so thank you for championing the vegan cause.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't go into the office until noon today, though.
All right. So a lot of people are coming to VegFest, like you said, they're curious.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to know if they're just starting out the journey, just starting to consider it, what would be the tip that you think would be really beneficial for them?
Well, I would say that probably my tips tend to be around the food side of things because that's what I do. So I have a couple things that I think of. One is I think that sometimes it can feel really mysterious or different to think about eating vegan if you haven't eaten vegan. So I like to tell people, don't rush into looking for foods that you didn't eat before. Use Google and find vegan versions of things that you already love. So if you loved sloppy joes, you're going to find 553 recipes for vegan sloppy joes online. It's like hot, right? I mean, it's like, so meatloaf, you can find a lentil loaf. But also to keep in mind that so much of what you eat, like a lot of people go, oh, I don't really eat vegan food while they're eating an apple. It's like, congratulations, you're eating vegan food while you're talking to me. So like, kind of like reminding yourself like, oh my gosh, I'm already eating so much of this already. And so now I'm not going to take away from my diet and the way I eat. I'm going to add more of that. And I think a lot of times, when people are looking at things from a dietary perspective, it tends to be one of restriction, whether you're literally trying to lose weight or if you're following vegan diet, you're like, what can't I have anymore? So what I would say is to not think about what you can't have anymore, but to learn what you can have that you never had before. I mean, the foods that I eat now, like, I eat a pretty simple, basic diet before I went vegan, but just, quinoa and kale and fennel and farro and barley and Swiss chard, all these leafy greens I never ate before. So that's one tip, just kind of start with find the vegan version of food you love. There's going to be a recipe or someone makes it and it's in the frozen food section. And by the way, no shame in that. And that's the other thing that is a lot of times you go to VegFest and you hear things that are super aspirational. Do an ultra marathon. Eat whole foods, plant-based, and never eat oil or salt or sugar again. Ultramarathon isn't vegan, but vegans do ultramarathons. Whole food, plant-based, no oil, no salt, no sugar ever is a diet, but can also be done vegan. But you know what's vegan? Just don't eat animals and don't eat anything that came from them. So if you demystify that for yourself, I think it makes it a little bit easier. And then the culinary trick that I always love to give people in any class I teach is to learn about and get familiar with the term umami, which is spelled U-M-A-M-I, which is considered the fifth flavor in Japanese culinary cuisine. It's a way to bring meatiness and savory essence to what you cook, and you don't need meat to do that. And once a home cook starts to master the ingredients, the umami ingredients, and by the way, umami sounds very mysterious. What we're talking about here are things like mushrooms, soy sauce, nutritional yeast, ripe tomatoes,
miso,
fermented and pickled vegetables, and miso, things that you can find at any grocery store. But when you start to layer your plant-based cooking with umami flavors, with umami cooking techniques like grilling or braising or caramelizing, you elevate the simplest recipes just by doing using umami. And I'll talk about that. My demo's at noon on Sunday. And I always talk about umami. I drive people nuts about it. I don't care.
Awesome. So let's let people know you are going to be at VegFest on Sunday. Now I see 11:30, you say noon. So let's get there early anyway. Get there at 10 and see festival people. It's great. So Sunday, First Bank Center in Broomfield, July 28th. You can see JL and you can learn how to save money, learn what umami is all about, and more. So people, where else can they find you, JL?
So my website is JL Goes Vegan, and since we're talking about Colorado VegFest, you should know that I run the Colorado Springs Vegan Cooking Academy, and I have free classes, I have demonstration classes, and then I have hands-on cooking classes that I call a supper club, where about 8 of us cook together, make a meal together, and then sit down and have a meal. And so I'm very active in the Colorado Springs area, obviously, and but find me online. I'm on Facebook and Instagram more than I'm anywhere else, and my tags are all JL Goes Vegan.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. So JL, we're so excited to have you back at VegFest, and thank you for spending some time with me and sharing these great tips with our listeners. And we will hopefully see everybody at VegFest, July 27th and 28th, 2019, and go vegan.
It's going to be amazing. And thank you to you and all the volunteers who make it happen. It's an incredible VegFest.
All right. Well, thanks, JL.